Hi there, my name is Ryan Wittingslow and I'm an assistant professor here at the University College Groningen. And last year I coordinated the unit Exploring Challenges of Modern Society. So Exploring Challenges of Modern Society is a compulsory course that all first years take at UCG. And because we like to do things a little bit differently here at UCG, this course is also, fittingly, a little bit different. So in a normal subject, and indeed in normal Dutch degrees, you tend to study a given subject matter via a certain disciplinary lens. So, for instance, if you enrolled in an economics degree, you might learn to look at problems as an economist might. Were you enrolled in a law degree, you'd learn to look at problems like a lawyer looks at problems. Were you enrolled in a philosophy degree, you get the idea. But no matter what discipline you may have selected, each of these disciplines comes armed with their own disciplinary commitments, their own epistemic norms, their own moral and ethical assumptions, and their own problem-solving methods. This might all, of course, sound totally fine if you possess the naive belief that all truths and all standards for truth agree with one another. But one of the interesting things that you'll discover over the course of your education is that things are rather more complicated than they look. So, for example, what counts as adequate grounds to believe that something is true can vary widely across disciplines, depending on the methods employed or the role of evidence within that inquiry. A logician, for instance, has an entirely different notion of truth to an animal behaviorist. Similarly, what counts as the good can also be sensitive to discipline. An economist who endorses the virtues of utility maximization could well have an entirely different interpretation of the refugee crisis than a philosophical deontologist. Furthermore, these goods could be incommensurable. There is simply no way to reconcile them. Now, this is clearly undesirable. In a world more polarized than ever, we simply can't afford to retreat into the warm embraces of our disciplinary silos, particularly when the cost of failure is so high. We need to learn to be disciplinary polyglots. We need to be generalists, not specialists. As science fiction writer Robert Heinlein once wrote, specialization is for insects. That's why this course is different. This course, unlike maybe any other course you ever take, is designed with no particular discipline in mind. Instead, we will talk about a common topic, but through 6 distinct disciplinary lenses: natural sciences, health and life sciences, brain and behavior, economics, arts and culture, and my field, philosophy. In so doing, we hope that you can begin to appreciate the very real differences in attitudes, methods, and assumptions between disciplines, but also acquire the beginnings of a generalist education. You, after all, are not insects. So given our ambitious goals with this subject, it also behoves us to pick what are the biggest problems, the biggest global challenges, if you like. And that's why last year we looked at climate change. Next year, of course, it might be something completely different. But no matter what, it's going to be something big, juicy, and exciting. Anyway, I hope that's enough to whet your appetite, and I really hope to see you all next year.